Well, welcome to this call tonight as 2025 approaches quickly. 4 more days in 2024, which is hard to believe. But this is a perfect time to start thinking about what you want to see in your life next year. What would you want for yourself in terms of your wellness? And we're here to share tonight how activation can help you with your wellness goals and intentions in 2025. So before we dive in a little bit into the science of activation, I wanted to allow you all to think about this for a couple of seconds, a minute, knowing that it takes time to think about what we want in the next year and out of life. It's a journey and it changes. But as you think about, where you've been in 2024 and where you want to go next year, what would your wellness intentions be for yourself? And I want to give you a little bit of time to think about it. And I loved this picture. I'm not a really huge fireworks person, but I used to enjoy sparklers. So when I saw this picture, I said, it's perfect. And since Susan lives in Hawaii, this would be right up her alley too. But just think for a few seconds, what do you want your wellness intentions to be for next year? If you want to share anything that's coming to mind, you can type it in the chat. If you want to just put write it down for yourself, that's awesome too. Yeah, Tamar said simplicity and openness and forgiveness. Yeah, one of the things that has been coming to me lately is just possibility, being more open to the possibility that exists in the world. And Tara said to be more present. And Susan said ease and joy. And I can relate to that too. I want to be in flow and not force, but also taking action to go into the future. And so today we're going to share how activation can help in aid in those things. And in terms of simplicity, I think, our bodies were designed in such an amazing way. And activation is all about how we can get our bodies working for us at the fullest capacity that is possible in our modern society. So I just encourage you to keep thinking about it as time goes on. Like I said, it's a journey, and we won't have everything figured out by January 1st. That's really not how life works. But over time, we can keep hearing what our spirit's saying and what we're taking in from the outside. So we all know each other, all the people who are on this call, and I won't go too deep into Tamara and I, but we are very passionate, the two of us, about sharing holistic wellness. And what we want for everyone is for you to experience the fullness of life, to have the most vibrant life possible, and to have the fullest well-being possible. And for us, that will always involve activating our health at a cellular level. And that's why we're passionate about for our own lives, but for everyone else too. And we really do believe that everyone deserves to know how awesome their bodies are and what they are capable of. And we are slightly weird and we are proud of it. So I'm going to dig a little bit into just briefly share about what are the challenges that our modern world and just existing, what are some challenges that affect us at a cellular level, and therefore are a root cause of much of the dis-ease that we experience. And one of Susan's goals was ease. And oxidative stress and some other things are directly opposed to that ease and cause dis-ease. And oxidative stress is essentially the damaging of our cells from free radicals. You can see it in this apple example, but it's the rusting of our cells from the inside, and that affects our health on the outside, just as an apple will brown over time. But as you can see from this chart, oxidative stress is one of the root causes of hundreds of diseases. And when we can address those, then we can give our body a leg up, which we'll talk about later. But you can search for yourself. You can go to PubMed, the website, and type in oxidative stress and something that you might struggle with, and you can see the number of results tying them together. And you'll also see a little exponential pattern, whereas like maybe in like 1970 there were just a few articles, but now in 2024 it's exponentially higher, the number of articles associated. And I said, yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of research studies on oxidative stress. So it's very, very interesting. And I wanted to share just a quick story of something I experienced lately. I was at a vendor event, and a teenager had the courage to come up to me and ask, because she saw one of the pictures that I had on the first slide of the woman whose hair had regrown because she had alopecia. And she said, oh, this can help with hair growth. And I said, yes, it can. It can help support that. And she said, could this help with trichotillomania? And that's when, people pull out their hair. And I said, you know what? I wasn't going to say anything that I wasn't sure about. So I said, let's go to PubMed and look. And sure enough, there were some articles on how oxidative stress can be one of the root causes of the genesis of trichotillomania. And I found that to be so fascinating. And she took my card, but who knows if I'll ever hear from her. She's still a teenager, and her mom was in a hurry to go. But it just really refueled my passion to keep sharing, because so much of what ails us has a root of oxidative stress. So there are some other root causes of what ail us, and a lot of it comes from our modern society. So just being bombarded with, radiation from electronics, the processed food that we eat, the water that we drink, even the process of breathing creates free radicals. So it is something that we need to address if we want to have the best chance of aging and living well. So just a quick rundown of what the difference between like traditional supplementation and activation is. In supplementation, we're trying to maybe fill in deficiencies of nutrients by, taking vitamins. We're trying to fill gaps, but activation is turning on your body's built-in capabilities that can address the root causes of aging. And that is also one of the things that does that is the changes in our gene expression. And many people think that we're tied to our genes, but that is not the case. We can influence how our genes express, and that is the science of nutrigenomics, how nutrients can affect the way our genes behave. Our genes can go rogue. They could overexpress and they can underexpress. And activation brings them back into balance. And it's like the tuning of a piano, which is a beautiful thing. Because if we think about it, when a piano is out of tune, it is a horrible sound. You don't want to hear it. And you can kind of think about that as trying to live a healthy life, a healthy and happy life in the world when we're out of tune, like a piano. We're going through our lives at a disadvantage, where we could have more harmony and ease by tuning our genes. So that's what we're going to share a little bit about today, about how turning on our body's capabilities really can help support those things that we're looking for in 2025. So, Tamar, are you up for sharing this slide?
Well, absolutely. I'm down for that. Up for it. Yes. So Dr. Joe McCord was a free radical biologist, and this was actually one of the reasons that I got so interested in LifeVantage because of this discovery, because he was so brilliant and he discovered the biology of turning on our body with NRF2 activation because of finding out of how to turn on our body's superoxide dismutase. Is that correct, Miss Mary?
Oh, yep. How
Our
to,
superoxide dismutase, which we
yep.
cannot replicate any other way than with the power of nutrigenomics, which he created and won an award for. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it was super awesome.
Yep. And so, yeah, and his one thing that always stuck with me is that his discovery was so significant that the enzyme is actually it's measured in McCord units. So in his last name, that's the unit of measure for superoxide dismutase, which is just amazing. He was one of two people who discovered that enzyme, and we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. But because of his discovery, and what he was finding, the ABC primetime investigative report thought, oh, well, we're going to come take a look at that because we want to know, like, what is this guy claiming to have done? Like, we got to check that out. So, John Quinones, he actually tested the NRF2, and, he went as part of the show and got on NRF2, and his oxidative stress reduced so significantly that now, because of this investigative report and the research that was done after it, we actually have an FDA approved statement, which is really unheard of for a natural supplement. And that is that we can reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days, which is really huge. So what I find really interesting is that he's still on the product all of these years later. And that was like all the way, 2022, but time keeps marching on. We're all getting older, and he's still on NRF2 because he knows the power of aging with it now. Um, and there's just a lot of research that keeps piling up um to how this happens. So Tamara mentioned it. There's a switch called the NRF2 switch, and it's a pathway. You'll hear different names for NRF2, a pathway, a protein in the cell that has to be turned on. But when you think of NRF2, just think of it as a capability that we can turn on. And when you turn it on, you increase and ramp up the production of not only SOD, but many other antioxidant enzymes like catalase and glutathione. And, the more and more research is coming out about the importance of all of these enzymes. Glutathione is one that most people probably have heard of, or they're hearing more of lately. There's people who suffer from certain, disease states that will go get glutathione IVs. But we can actually turn on our production of glutathione, and then you can see what that does, even in all mammals. So even in horses and dogs, you can see this example of a horse. But it's such a profound discovery that Washington State University called it that NRF2 activation may become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. And more in the medical profession who are open to hearing new things are, getting to know this concept, and more medical professionals are joining the effort to share this technology and our capabilities because they know that is the groundwork of our health and wellness. So it's pretty awesome. And then there's a few other pathways that we can activate, and we can activate them individually and we can activate them together, which are more synergistic. So there's a switch, NRF1, that's in charge of our mitochondria, which is mitochondria are all throughout our body. They have higher concentrations in places like the heart, and interestingly, for all the females, ovaries. So if we can harness the power of our mitochondria, which also can get damaged, then we can influence our health that way as well. And you can also go to PubMed and look up the link between mitochondrial dysfunction and disease states, which is very fascinating to do. And then there's a thing we can activate called sirtuins with our NAD. Those are longevity proteins. So all of those things are working to help us age and live better over time. And when you take the LifeVantage activators, these three, they are synergistic. So they increase the effectiveness by 1900%, which is just an amazing number. So quickly, I just wanted to show you, because I'm a visual person, I like to see things. So here is the antioxidant pyramid. Most of us, when we think about antioxidants, we think about the ones we eat, you know, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. But as you can see, those are at the bottom of the pyramid. They're secondary antioxidants, but increasingly, as you go up the pyramid, they have more of a protective effect. So you can see SOD, catalase, and glutathione toward the top. So that is really awesome. And, you know, as Dr. Brimhall says in this quote, we no longer have to supplement our deficiencies. We can turn on our pathways that control the aging and the healing process. So, and you don't have to take our word for it. You don't have to, you know, think of like, what do we know? You can look at all of these organizations that have done studies on the NRF2 synergizer. And there's a lot of well-renowned organizations and research institutions that have done research on this. And there's studies associated. So for people who like to read research studies, you can find those and I can send you a link to them and you can read about what they've found. So like I said earlier, I really want to embrace what's possible in 2025. Our minds can be very limiting in our own lives and in the lives of others. Susan was the one who first introduced me to Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I've increasingly gotten into his work because he encourages us not to limit our transformation. He shares shocking transformations for people who have been able to help heal themselves with the power of their minds. And he literally meditated and healed his spine after being hit on a bike by a truck. So he's super inspirational to me. And so that's a little bit of a tangent, but it's not, because what I'm going to show you right now is what's possible. So in your mind, our mind can hardly conceive what's possible because our minds go off of what we know and what we've experienced. But we can look at what other people have experienced and know what's possible. So I love this slide because it shows you the power of nutrigenomics and activating our different pathways. And what I love about the animal examples is that animals don't have a placebo effect. So they don't know, oh, I'm getting this, you know, little activator, this yellow activator. They have no idea what it is, but we see the results in them. And in terms of the humans, you can see what's possible. I was floored by my collagen results and my other, you know, I had been on the Tri-Synergizer for about 2 years when the collagen came out. And then I added the collagen for 2 years. And the difference in my eyes, it just floored me. It looked like I got an eyelid lift and I didn't. And what I also love is the picture of the foot. This person actually had their pigment fill back in partially, as you can see, after starting activation. And this picture is somewhat old. I came across this example and this testimony like back when I first started as a consultant. So it just shows you the power of our base activators, and then we just keep adding as we go along. The brilliant people at LifeVantage just keep adding on things that we can activate. And so the most recent activation that we have is GLP-1 activation. We have some really great videos done by functional medicine practitioners if you want to learn more about GLP-1. But essentially, it's a hormone that our bodies can produce. But because of our modern society and our processed food, our body's production of GLP-1 drastically decreases. And therefore, as it controls our weight management, insulin management, all of that gets out of whack. Our hunger cues, our fullness signals, all of that's gotten out of whack in our modern society. But now we can activate our GLP-1 production naturally. And there was an independent clinical study that was done that showed that it increased by 140% over a 12-week period. So that was really awesome. And you can see some of the people who were in the study here. You can see what some of their results, but the average loss was 9 pounds in 8 weeks and 25 pounds in 12 weeks. So I'll go to the next slide to just show you what is possible. Everybody's results are going to vary because we've all had different experiences. I've learned a lot about this lately just in talking with people about their experience with different GLP-1 products. So there's drugs that mimic GLP-1 and there's products that can influence GLP-1. And then of course now we have a GLP-1 activator. But if you think about it, our modern lifestyles have affected our bodies from their, taken us away from our natural state for however many years we were born, like how we've been alive. So I just turned 44. So I've had 44 years to get my body to where it is now. And it takes time to adjust. But again, not limiting our transformations with our minds, but focusing on what changes we do see and really leaning into that and knowing what's possible and what's going on the inside. But I love these two examples. Gloria is on the left and Shauna is on the right. And Shauna shares her experience and she had been having a hard time losing weight. And so it's been really inspirational to see her journey. So she was down 20 pounds in 7 weeks, but she's so cute. She's so vulnerable sharing her journey. But she just talks about, when she calls like her stomach in the front, like her front butt is what she calls it. And she said they're going to all celebrate when that's gone. Like they're going to have a party because like she could never get rid of it, and now she is. So like her experience is so awesome. But I love what she says too. She wants to empower everyone else to feel the way that she feels. And that's the thing about activation. Once you experience it, you can't help but tell people about it because it's too good to keep to yourself. And that's why Tamar and I continue to share. So and we're sharing this right before New Year, and we are sharing it now because there's a unique opportunity in the new year. So the challenge that was created by some of the executive consultants in the company is called Activate and Thrive in 25. It's going to be a 12-week challenge, and these consultants have pooled together $25,000. That's what the prize pool is at the moment. It could increase as people continue to jump on board, but that is the prize pool. And I think it's just fun to be able to, be like, I have a motivation to help you in a new journey of change. So you can see the grand prize details there. There's going to be different categories. And the cool thing is it's all run by this group of executive consultants. And it's going to be very, the rules will be structured so that it's not confusing. And there'll be an entry form and there'll be certain things that you can do to show your progress. And they're going to tell us about that as well. But it's not just about pounds and inches. They're also going to ask for people to share their stories. What else is it doing for us? It's helping us take back our relationship with food. It's helping us regain that communication between our gut and our brain. Who knows what it will do for us? Individually, we all have different goals. We have different stories. Some of us may be trying to work on our weight management so that we can play with our grandkids or our pets or do the job that we love or just live into the future with the best body and best mind and best health possible. That's my goal. Um, as someone once said, this is my health insurance. Someone said that. I was like, yep, this is my health insurance. Taking care of my body. Um, so I won't go too off tangent with that, but I definitely have my own goals in terms of how I want to live and age. And I want to be, that 93-year-old that's like walking the beach or, doing whatever. Um, so that's my goal. But there's going to be free Facebook support groups. There's going to be, I think we don't have all the details yet, but there's going to be like daily motivation. There's going to be raffles, prizes along the way. And then I'm also going to offer an optional coaching group because I want one of my clients to win the grand prize. So I'll quickly share about that. So I had this idea to do a group coaching in a Facebook group. And depending on which mind body system you want to utilize, um, that'll determine the price of the group coaching. So there's a stack that has the collagen, the mind body system, and NRF2. That is like the best bang for your buck and your body. So people who want to go all in on the product, you get complimentary coaching. So I'm excited to offer that. That that pack is going to do a lot of different things for you. The pairing of the NRF2 and the collagen has been shown to reduce immune system stress signaling. The collagen is awesome by itself. The collagen increases your SOD, that master antioxidant, by 27 times just by itself. And like I said earlier, when you pair these things together, they are more effective. So I can go into some details with you if you're interested. I just wanted to put that out there now. Um, so I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted because Meatball, one of the dogs I'm taking care of, is shaking really badly right now. So I'm like, I want to go check on Meatball. But these are some options, okay, for group coaching because, like I said, I want one of my clients to win the grand prize. So, and it's going to give, I feel like, just a better chance at better results. Because when we try to do something on our own, it's harder to stay committed. But if you have a group of supportive people, it really can make the system all that much better. And I used to hate this quote, by the way. You know that quote that's like, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. I used to hate that quote. I'm just going to be honest. But now I get it. I get it. If we're just trying to expand and be open to this transformation that's beyond our imagination, we're not going to be the same person as we are now in 3 months. We're just not. Who knows what that person's going to look like, but it's not going to be the same person. And to me, that is just so motivational and inspiring. So I'm starting to not mind that quote. But Tamar, do you want to kind of share about like kind of what we offer to close out? And I'm going to go check on Meatball.
Yes, you check on me.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
like shaking dogs.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
yeah, probably like listening, going, oh no, you're taking too long. I need cuddles.
You know,
But
we'll go
yeah,
check
we're
it out.
so excited for this opportunity to just like embrace every aspect of what we believe activate and thrive in 2025 is all about. It's about community, it's about support, it's about just exciting change and transformation. And it can look different for everyone. Um, I'm super excited about 2025 because I want to do something different. I want to tell myself different stories. I want to include people in my vision, and I really just want to expand people's ability to heal. And I think part of the vision that LifeVantage has is so huge because everyone's coming together and they're also empowering us to grow our vision with the business as well. Because when we transform lives and we can share it with others, we can also activate our wealth, our health, and all those things that go together so that we can function at more optimal levels. So I feel like if we touch every aspect of our life with activation, it starts from within, and we really need to focus on the inside and what we're feeling and not look at the outside. And I think that's what's so important. And I think that when we're all together doing this together and we're making it fun, we're supporting each other on our journeys, then we're able to just, you know what, like this is a ride. We're getting in a car and we're going to a destination. We don't exactly know where we're going, but we're all in it together, and it's going to be a good place because it starts with ourselves. And we're like, think of ourselves as cell phones. So if we don't charge our phones and if we don't upgrade our phones, then we don't function at optimal level. And our world is changing at an existential rate, whatever I want to say. Technology is advancing, and our bodies need to advance as well, so that we can live in earth, live in abundance, and have the health and the energy and vitality and focus to be able to do what we need to do. And I think that all of our products and our company and just everything about the teams and what we've brought together, it's like a package that literally never ends. It's like a Santa's sleigh that's going to just go around the world and give gifts. And the gifts are health, wealth, and activating every aspect of abundance. And I'm super excited to be on this journey with these beautiful people on this call and whoever's listened in. And we're just here to support you in every aspect of what you're looking for. And we're down. We're like joining hands and ready to start this. So activate and thrive in 2025.